Okay guys, I have this titled as C7 Z06 brake upgrade for the SS. That's kind of true, kind of not. I know that I have the, all of the calipers say V, as a CTS-V logo, but the Z01 Camaro, the 5th gen Camaro, the CTS-V, like 09 to 13, that Z01 Camaro, and the new C7 Z06 with the steel rotors, not the carbon ceramics. Carbon ceramics are a different rotor and a different caliper. They're physically both bigger. The C7Z, the V, and the Z01 all use the same brake caliper. I'll have a link in the description below to a thread that I found on Camaro5.com where a guy has a 1LE Camaro and he has the C7 Z06 calipers. What makes this a C7Z caliper is the fact that I upgraded to the stainless steel ventilated pistons that the C7Z has. Now these pistons will fit the standard CTS-V ZL1 and the C7Z which comes with it. So what GM did was they used the same caliper, as the older cars, that they put onto the C7, but what they changed for the for the Z06 were these stainless steel pistons. From what the guy said on the Camaro 5 forum, these stainless steel vented pistons are supposed to reduce operating temperature of your brake caliper by like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's definitely a significant decrease in temperature for your front brakes. Now, did I really need to upgrade the CTS-V calipers to the C7 stainless steel pistons, vented pistons? Probably not, but since I had my calipers, since I ordered a set of core calipers from my powder coater, I actually had the time to find the C7Z part number, the vented piston part number, and I just shipped them to him. So I bought the vented pistons from Rock Auto and used their 5% coupon off. I want to say they were $100 a set, so $100 for each set, so it was like $200 total, something like that. Kind of a big upgrade, but since it was a part and it was one of those, do I really need it? No, but I really don't want to do things twice. So I was like, well, why not just upgrade the pistons since I'm already powder coating these things already. So ordered them, had them shipped directly from Rock Auto to the powder coater in Michigan, and he installed them. He had no problem sticking these in the CTS-V core calipers that he was working with. So he powder coated in red, put the V logo, and he also put the C7 Z06 stainless steel pistons in there. Now, I think these are a two-part piston. I actually never got to see them, but I think it's a two-part piston. Like the very front, the surface that you can see is vented stainless steel. Then I think there's an aluminum piston behind it. It works something like that. I would have to take them apart, but I'm not going to do that. So that's how you make a CTS-V caliper into a C7 caliper, with just upgrading the pistons inside of it. So like I said, it was about $200 for the front. Now the backs are different because the Corvette has a different Brembo rear brake, so the backs are just standard, standard aluminum piston. And as far as I know, they don't sell, I don't think the C7 stuff would work for the rear, but I knew it would work for the front, so I was like, well, why not? Might as well upgrade them to the best that I can. So now I'll have C7 Z06 type calipers on the front of my car, stainless steel brake lines, Hawk HPS pads, CTS-V front rotors, 2015 SS rear rotors, the same Hawk pads, and the powder coated rear Brembo. So yeah, that's how you upgrade your SS to C7 brakes. So that guy on the Camaro 5 forum just bought the C7 Z06 caliper and bolted it onto the front of his Camaro. And that kind of gave me the idea that, okay, if the C7 stuff, if the caliper is the same, can I just upgrade the pistons? And that thread was like 40 pages long, and eventually I found the part numbers that I needed. I'll post the part numbers down below. I got them from Rock Auto. They're one of the only places I could find them besides GM. And That guy, I think he spent $360 to $400 a caliper, you know, in red with the Corvette logo. But for me, you know, I already have the calipers. Like I said earlier, I only spent like $65 in powder coating per caliper. So, you know, adding extra $100 to the fronts, I was kind of okay with that. So for the fronts, for me to have the reds, I'm $160 into it with the C7 hardware and the red caliper. So that's not too bad. The rears are $65 a piece, and he didn't charge, you know, when he rebuilt them, he put all new hardware in. So I have all new hardware for, I think I said $265 total. That's not including the piston upgrade, but, you know, just base cost, it was like, you know, $250. Add the pistons, so $350. So I got like $450 in the whole setup. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these stainless steel C7 pistons, vented pistons, work. You know, I'm not really planning on taking the SS on track days or anything like that. I just was, you know, since I have the car apart, why not? So, you know, drag strip, maybe some autocrossing. That's really all I would do with the car. You know, I've got my over 600 horsepower Corvette for all the crazy shit. So, okay guys, I am starting on the brake project with replacing the calipers. Gotten the SS up in the air. It's on the first notch. I could have went all the way up, but I kind of want to be able to open the garage door if I have to. So I'm just gonna do this kind of sitting on a cart. Plus, for this project, I really don't need to be underneath the car. I just need to get access to it. So sitting in a stool should be fine for this. I am going to take the pads out, knock the pins out, take the bridge pin out, take all that out, load that into the new caliper, and then get that ready to swap the brake lines, take the brake lines off. And these are those Goodrich brake lines, stainless brake lines, and I have a set of replacement crush washers for it. It's Dorman number 66223. You might want to order these ahead of time. I had to go to 3 different stores and I only got 2 sets, so I can only do 2 of the brakes for today. I'll do the other 2 brakes tomorrow, but so I ordered the other 2, you know, the other 2 packages of these, and these brakes take 2 each. So there's one on top of the banjo bolt, or you got the bolt on the bottom, 1 washer, the brake line itself, and then another washer, and then the bolt slit goes through all that. So this will only do 1 brake, so you need 4 packs. So swap the brake lines and then bolt up the new pads and all that, so the new caliper, and put the new caliper on. Okay guys, I have gotten the pads out, the bridge out, the backing plate and all that stuff out. It's out of the caliper. I've taken off the 2 bolts that hold the caliper to the steering knuckle. Those are 18mm bolts. Pulled both of those out. Now I'm gonna disconnect the brake line. This is a 14mm banjo bolt. This may not be the same size as stock because I have the stainless brake lines on here, so just a fair warning, but I'm going to swap over the new washers, the banjo bolt, all of the new caliper, then slide it on and try to get the bolt back through the knuckle and into the caliper. Okay guys, I have the caliper bolted on. I torqued the banjo bolt to 14 foot-pounds because that's what, between 14 and 18 foot-pounds is what Goodrich calls for. I've actually snapped one of those bolts over torquing it because I think the factory is 36 foot-pounds. So I went with the low end. I went with 14 foot-pounds and it should be good enough. That's what I torqued it down previously on the old V calipers. I didn't have any issues with them. And then you got the 2 18mm bolts that go through the knuckle, steering knuckle, and into the caliper. Those are 129 foot-pounds. Torqued those down. I also swapped in the brake bleeder screws. These you torque down to 10 foot-pounds, but I have not torqued these down yet because I still need to bleed all the brakes. So that's the front that I've done so far. I put one of the brake pads in, And then when we put this other pad in, and you can see the old copper paste, I'll put a link with the information button above to where you're supposed to put copper paste on the top and bottom of these. So I'm going to do that next, put the pads in, then I'll put all the pins and all that and finish this side up. Okay guys, I have started on the rear passenger side of this brake caliper swap. I took the wheel off. I've taken the two 18mm bolts out. Those were kind of hard to get to because of the brake line's right in the way, but I ended up using a shorter socket and I was able to get those two bolts out. Next I'm going to pull the pads and pins and all that stuff out. Then I will disconnect the brake line, swap that over, and reassemble everything. Okay guys, I just finished the rear. I finished putting the bolts in. I torqued them down. They are 18mm bolts. You torque them down to 96 foot-pounds. And then the bleeder is again 10 foot-pounds, and the banjo bolt was also 14 foot-pounds. Torqued all that down. Put the pads in, put the pins in, put the copper paste on the top and bottom of the pad so it doesn't squeal. I reconnected the stainless brake line that's right here that was popped out, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty much a straight caliper swap. And so far this, I'm done with the passenger side. You can kind of see the driver's front over there in the corner, but I just finished the passenger rear. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm out of those crush washers, so I need to go order. I ordered 2 more of them, 2 more sets, and I'll pick those up tomorrow, and I'll do the driver's side then. Okay guys, I finished up the driver's side of the install. There was really nothing to film since it's the same as the passenger. I blowed the brakes last night and I went for a test drive, and here are some overall finished shots of the car. Thanks. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like it, and if you haven't already, please subscribe.